Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hello and welcome once again, film fans. It is Cheap Shot Entertainment and Quick Shot Reviews for you. This week we're going to watch, or we have watched rather, we're going to talk about a film called Infinity Pool. It's 2023 release. It is nearly a 2-hour runtime. Stars Alexander Skarsgård and the fastly becoming horror darling Mia Goth, Cleopatra Coleman, amongst others. And it's an interesting concept for a film, but there's no real... I don't want to go into that yet because there's a lot I need to discuss about this film, but it is directed by Brandon Cronenberg and is also written by Brandon Cronenberg. Like I say, Mia Goth fastly becoming a horror darling here, but this... After the success of X and Pearl, this is, it's gone down a lot. And there's some really good actors and actresses in this film, and that is very strange to me that this is that kind of film. But we're going to get into that discussion in the main part of the video/podcast, and hopefully you'll have joined us for that. And if you have watched Infinity Pool, please do get in touch with us. We'd love to know what your thoughts are on this, because mine are deep and ranging, I believe, although I need to get all this out in the space of 10 minutes. So without further ado, let's move on to the main part of the discussion, and I will see you after this quick break. So, as I've already mentioned, a 2023 film, near 2-hour runtime. It is an 18, of course, because, it's one of those kind of films which does require an 18. And it's very much justified, if in a way that's not done very often in cinema these days. Actually, there has been a lot of 18 rated movies, and I feel like we're getting some good stuff, but then there's 18 rated movies for the sake of being 18 rated movies, and those are the ones that I don't particularly like. And unfortunately, Infinity Pool is one of those films, and I absolutely adore Mia Goth and Alexander Skarsgård, because they're both very, very good. There are some very good performances, but obviously the standouts are those two mentioned. It follows the story of James and Em Foster, and they are enjoying an all-inclusive vacation on the beach in a compound on an island, in the fictional island of Latolqua, when a fatal accident exposes the resort's perverse subculture of hedonistic tourism, reckless violence, and surreal horrors. Yes, all of those things are true. The driving story here is that James has married Rich, and that is Em, who is his wife. Em's father is very wealthy. He is a writer, and he's looking for inspiration. A story that we've heard many, many times. And he is sort of riding on the pigtails of the wealth of his father-in-law. His father-in-law doesn't like him, but hey, they do make a good couple when they're on the same page. I will say that. And they do have good chemistry in this film. That is until Mia Goth comes on the scene, because she is very alluring towards James. And I will say this is Mia Goth as we've not seen her in a while. Certainly since, certainly I haven't seen her like this. She's obviously becoming, she's obviously getting older and all that kind of stuff. So she's getting away with it. And I feel like this film is shock value for the sake of shock value, and gore for the sake of gore, and just it tries too hard, and by trying too hard, it has become, it does become boring. It's like, oh, that's shocking. But I feel like it's shocking for the sake of being so. And it's very much that kind of film. So basically, there is an accident. James and Em go out drinking with Mia Goth, who plays Gabby, and her husband, who encourages them to, drink, and then they hire a car and they drive. James drives back. He then causes an accident. They don't tell anybody, and then it goes into the bulk of the film, which I'm not going to spoil for you, because I do feel like my reviews do save the spoilers, and it's just me giving my thoughts on a film. So then lots of things happen. Some things are rules based in reality, and others are just really weird for the sake of being weird. And you'll hear me say that phrase quite a bit, because it's shocking for the sake of shock, gore for the sake of gore, and weird for the sake of weird. And that pretty much explains everything you need to know about Infinity Pool. It is a fictional island with a fictional nation living on that island who have rituals, shall we say, which involve, if you kill someone, you get your just desserts, and the punishment is befitting the crime, and you have to sign things away, and then other things happen which makes it very sci-fi as well, which I had more interest in those bits than the copious amounts of boobs. I never thought I'd say that about a horror movie, but there is a lot of flesh on display in this film. And again, it's there for the sake of being there. And it's just, for me, and I'm pretty sure there's probably people who love this film, for me, it's not great. I was bored throughout a lot of the film. I never felt a connection to any of the characters, and when you're doing a film like this, you probably do need a connection, even though they have a disconnect with you as an audience. You need to feel that the things that are happening to them shouldn't be happening to them, and that's where characterization comes in. And I don't feel like there was a lot of characterization in this film because of the subject matter it's trying to cover. And again, I won't spoil that. As with a lot of Mia Goth films, it is subjective. I know I really enjoyed Pearl on thinking about it again, but other people didn't. Same with X. Loved X. But again, some people didn't like it. And that is the beauty of being a film fan. You can go and watch a film and you can have your own views on it. There are some people that will try and convince you otherwise, but everyone has their favourite type of movie. And that's what makes being a film fan great, because you can share that love without having to, tell other people how they should feel about things. And this film is very much like that. Although, just looking down at some of the reviews that are available online, doesn't seem like there's a lot of love for this film at all. It's trying to be David Cronenberg, isn't it? Brendan Cronenberg, in fact, is David Cronenberg's son. And he's taken a lot of inspiration from his father without taking any of not the creativity, but the ability to tell a story. See the difference between, and he's probably going to get there. Give him time, but David Cronenberg's films. Yes, it was body horror, but you always felt a connection to the characters within, and there just wasn't anything here that made me connect to anything. It was oversold and quite obnoxious in the way it was delivered, and it completely wasted the cast of stars in this film, which is a shame. It's just, I don't think it was meant to be scary. I think it was meant to make you go, ooh, why are they doing that? And, it succeeded. But if you're going to do a film like this, then it needs to have some substance to it. And this didn't. It didn't hit the mark for me at all. And that is Infinity Pool. Join us next week. We'll be watching Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Yay! I'm quite excited about that one. So join us for that podcast as well. And in the meantime, film fans, keep watching those films. Give your time to the cinemas. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.